happen right now.
Okay, where at?
At the high school, Livermore High School.
Livermore High? Where out on the campus?
It's in front of the high school. There's two cars just collided. One of them was just driving and drove into another one, and somebody just flew out of the windshield. There's somebody on the car, on the hood of the car.
Okay, is it going to be on Bush or on Livermore Avenue?
On Bush.
Okay. And what does the vehicle look like?
Good morning. Good morning. All right, lie down. All right, we've been asked to come here today to talk to you about the prom promise, which you have to attend in order to attend the prom. So we'll go ahead and get through this. For you, I'm sure at this point, you think it's a check in the box. For us, it's not. How many of you were at the presentation we had yesterday? Statistically, in this room, because of the numbers, we're going to see 3 of you on the roadway in a motor vehicle collision. Statistically, it happens every year. We're going to see you. So is it going to be you, or are you going to just get a Band-Aid, go back home, or are you going to wind up going to the morgue? That decision is for you, and the decision that you make today. I definitely recommend not getting a motor vehicle with those two. All right, so talking about prom promise and getting ready. Vehicles are not often associated as weapons, but they are. They're associated as weapons in the figurative sense, and they're also literally weapons. What happened in Paris? Vehicles are now being used as weapons against people. But this is a weapon. It's more proficient at killing and injuring Americans than any other weapon out there. We have a focus on gun crime and gun control, correct? But motor vehicles are killing more people on our roadways every day than terrorists ever have. And any of these mass casualty incidents that we're seeing. And more often than not, it's going to be a young driver. That's why you all pay so much for insurance. The magical age is 18 because you become an adult. Then the magical age is 21 for reasons we all know. And then the next magical age is 25 because your insurance drops down because they say that you're an adult and if you survive this long, you're probably a decent driver. And your insurance is going to come down a little bit. The 3 big ages to look forward to. But right now you're at an at-risk stage. The months coming up from prom, summer vacation, going off to college are some of the most dangerous times that you're going to face. The young lady that was here with us yesterday, she was a battery-free 2011 graduate, paralyzed in a 2009 accident when she was ejected from a vehicle for not wearing a seatbelt. She was an athlete, she was a cheerleader, and now she's confined to a wheelchair for the rest of her life. And she sat in the presentation, told us she sat in the presentation just like this. I thought, oh, it'll never happen to me. It'll never happen to me. And she was a passenger vehicle, was ejected 50 feet, and she broke her neck or broke her back just below the cervical column. So your vehicle is a weapon, and you need to look at that just like that when you get behind the wheel of the car. You're responsible for yourself, and you're responsible for everybody else in the vehicle. One of the biggest things we see on scene is not only the tears from the pain of being in an accident, and the terror that comes along with being in an accident, is the driver's remorse because they send their friends to the hospital or to the morgue. And they have to live with that. There's no push button, okay, redo, let's go back and change this all over again. Tomorrow it'll be fine. It's permanent. And I've seen too many lives change in the back of an ambulance because of the injuries you have that may not recover from, or you might not live to see the next day, but also you're living with the guilt because the people in your car or the people that you hit are now living with the choices that you make. And you can't get that ever back again. South Carolina, we are ranked 2nd in the nation for alcohol-related traffic accidents on the roadway. We're ranked number 2. So those statistics have been growing over the years and they're getting worse. Also in South Carolina, we are leaders for accidents involved by alcohol, drugs, or distracted driving, which means texting. So we're not learning the lessons, but we're going out there, we're getting ourselves in bad situations. Don't make that choice. That looking down at that text could change your life and somebody else's forever. Having a drink of alcohol, getting behind the wheel of the car could change your life and someone else's forever. Texting is a problem. There's TV and then there's reality. And like the group that I talked to yesterday, there's TV in the movies, right? You're in an accident, fire department shows up, the ambulance shows up, takes you to the hospital, you go to the hospital and you wind up leaving the hospital and living a happy, fruitful life. Even if the accident on the movie screen is a fatality accident, sometimes romanticized and it's not reality. Reality is very different from what you're seeing on TV. Accidents are very tragic, they're very scary, and they're very emotional. You are out of control when you're in a motor vehicle accident. Okay? We are not in control. Nobody's in control. We get there, we do the best that we can. There's a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, a lot of cutting the vehicles. There's a lot of communication that's going on. Not all of it's polite, not all of it's professional. Okay? say, because we got to get you out of the vehicle, we got to get you to the hospital. But we don't control it. There's people that we arrive to on scene that are alive and talking to us, but they're dead before we get into the hospital. We don't control that. We're just doing the best we can. We are trying to race with you against the clock to get you to the hospital, to get you to survive. We often find a cell phone on the floorboard with the person who's texted before the impact. The smell of alcohol you cannot hide. That's in the air. Or using some type of illegal substance to get behind the wheel of the car. It's more than apparent. The people that are under the influence, they think they're acting normal, but they're acting a fool. And as your SRO will tell you, you're on camera, and if it ever makes it to YouTube, you're going viral. Life has changed forever because of a split-second decision. There's no privacy on scene. We get out of the vehicle, we can cut you down, take all your clothes off. We got to see where you're injured, where you bleed, we got to patch you up. There's no covering you up, there's no being careful. Nowadays, what are people doing? They got video cameras, they're videotaping everything. So your bare body, after the accident you just had, is now on YouTube or on somebody's computer. Okay, so there's no decency, there's no morality. We got to get you to cut you down. People have lost control of their bladders, people have lost control of their bowels, right on scene in front of everybody while we're on scene. All because of the decision that you made. These are the realities of the accident scenes. This is what myself and Ms. Drake have seen over and over and over again. It's frustrating because we've seen how it could have been prevented, didn't need to happen in the first place. And that's what makes it a tragedy. And as I said, just because we're there and we're working on it doesn't mean you're going to survive. I'd say 25% of the patients that we work on that are involved in motor vehicle collisions, that's serious. They're alive when we're there, but they don't make it to the hospital, they don't survive more than 1 or 2 days in the hospital. So just because we show up doesn't mean you're going to survive the incident. It is life-changing. These incidents are life-changing. They don't need to happen, but because of decisions you make. Drink alcohol, use drugs, pick up that phone and send a text, or not put on your seatbelt will change your life forever. And we have seen way too much of it. And that's what's left of you on the floor of the emergency room where your journey is just now beginning. You've got years of rehab, you've got years of injuries and scars that will follow you for a lifetime. Your life is changing. It never goes back to the same again. Some scars of some accident victims that are out there, glass, you're in a motor vehicle, and like we tried to tell people yesterday, your motor vehicle is designed to keep you alive. Your car will crumple around you, and if you're inside the occupant compartment, you should walk away. But if you're not wearing a seatbelt, you'll ricochet around the inside of that passenger compartment, impacting everybody else in the vehicle, and you're probably not going to be going home. And this is where you could be, dead on the side of the roadway for hours while we wait for the coroner to arrive, while we wait for the accident investigation to take place. That's where you're at. That's where your family sees you. That's where your friends see you. And we've been there before. We've got to hold mom back. We've got to hold dad back. They want to be with their babies, but they can't. You're on the side of the roadway. Your life is over. There's no redo. You're not going back. You're not going to get up, walk away, say, oh, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. It's done because of the decisions that you made. And this is why we end up in the grave. Over and forgotten. Did a presentation at Battery Creek, and there was a student that was involved in a motor vehicle accident that was a fatality, and no one even remembered who she was. She was gone. You were all one generation away from being erased. Your family will remember you, but beyond that, you haven't been here long enough to make your mark in the world. You go on the ground, there's a couple memorials, and over time, you are forgotten, you are erased. Your life is over, there's no redo. Because of the decisions that you made. Talking about the human body. Does Drake want to take over one?
Jackie was beautiful, with pretty brown eyes and a thick brown hair.
She was always a lot of fun. She loved to laugh and loved to dance. She was a great dancer.
We'd go to the beach. She loved to jet ski.
After college, she had planned to take over her father's business, but now who knows? Her life will never be the same.
Everyone liked Reggie. He knew how to have a good time.
Reggie was definitely a jock. He had lots of friends, played a whole bunch of sports.
He hadn't had that new blue SUV for very long, and you could tell he was crazy about it.
Reggie's not the kind of guy you would have expected to get into trouble and end up where he did.
This is where 20-year-old Jackie Savarito wanted to be. She left her family in Venezuela to come to the United States to learn to speak English. Reggie Steffi was a senior in high school. He played baseball and football. College was in his future. One of his prized possessions was the SUV he had customized. Early one Sunday morning in the fall of 1999, Jackie's and Reggie's paths crossed. In a split second, their lives would be changed forever. Just a few hours earlier, Jackie had been at a birthday party with some of her new friends. Reggie got together with friends and drank beer after work Saturday evening. Although Texas has a zero-tolerance law that makes it illegal for anyone under 21 to buy or possess alcohol, later that night he went to a party and drank some more. It was late when Jackie and her friends left the birthday party. Neither she nor the driver had been drinking. Jackie rode in the front seat. About the same time, Reggie was also driving home. He was drunk. Reggie's SUV crossed the center line and hit the car Jackie was riding in head-on. A fire started in the engine and spread to the inside of the car.
911.
Oh my God.
What's the matter?
I've got an emergency. I've got a car wreck. I believe it's on...
Two of Jackie's friends died instantly. Jackie's legs were pinned under the dashboard. Trapped, Jackie begged for help, but rescuers could not get her out. Engulfed in flames, she screamed for 45 seconds. Then there was silence. Other than a few bruises, Reggie didn't seem to be hurt. He was taken to a hospital. He was okay, except for one thing. A blood test showed he had been drinking. Police officers arrested him and took Reggie to jail. Jackie was barely alive when she arrived at the hospital. She was burned over most of her body. Her hair was gone, so were her nose and her ears. Her eyes were scorched, and she was almost completely blind. The fingers on both of her hands had to be amputated. The pain was indescribable and constant. She depends on her father to take care of her. Jackie spent months in the hospital. She fights every day to recover. Since the crash, she has had 50 operations, and many more will be necessary. When she can, she goes to school to improve her English. Reggie Steffi was tried and convicted for causing the deaths of 2 people while he was driving drunk. He is now in the state penitentiary.
I went from a football field on Friday to a prison cell on Sunday, that quick, through the choices I made on one Saturday. And so it can happen. I had never been in any trouble before in my life. I had never gotten any DWIs or gotten in trouble with alcohol at all. But the one time that I made that horrible decision, and the one time that I got in trouble, one time, it was devastating. And the fact that drinking and driving isn't a joke, it's not something to play around with. It's real, and these are the consequences.
My life before was completely different from that of today's. I was independent, 100% independent. I attended college, drove my car, occasionally went to parties, danced flamenco. What happens now is that I am a bit more afraid because I don't trust myself. Not because I'm a different Jackie internally. It's rather that externally, I can't do what I could do before.
My father is helping me to do the regular things like put on my clothes or cut the food. He cares me because my vision is not very good. Right now, I don't have a specific goal. You know, I want to finish studying English. I want, to keep going with my treatment. It's very difficult because in the past, before the accident, when all the doors were open for a regular young person, and in my case, it's harder because most of the doors are closed, no?
One doesn't know what's worse, if to die or be left in this condition. There are times that I wonder, why was I left like this? Why didn't I die? Why did I remain here?
Knowing what's happened, knowing the damage that I've caused to so many people and so many families, it's something that I can't describe to anybody.
The person that caused my accident destroyed my life completely.
And the prison sentence is nothing compared to the life sentence that I'm going to live with, knowing what I did and the consequences of what I did. The loss of life. It didn't have to happen, period.